My beloved child, listen carefully. This is not a random moment, and this is not a normal day. January 2 carries a weight in the spirit that cannot be ignored. Heaven has already leaned in your direction, and Archangel Michael is standing near you right now, watching to see if you will open your heart to what is being released. What God is doing today is not small, and it is not delayed. It is precise, intentional, and perfectly timed for what comes next in your life. Something has shifted behind the scenes. You may not see it yet, but the movement has already begun. Doors you thought were sealed have started to loosen. Conversations you were never invited into are now happening in your favor. Decisions that once worked against you are being quietly reversed. Archangel Michael says this clearly. Heaven has moved on your behalf today. This is not a promise for someday. This is not symbolic language. This is happening now. You have been wondering why the pressure increased before the year even settled in. You felt resistance where you expected relief. You sensed a strange urgency, like something was pushing you forward before you felt ready. That was not confusion. That was preparation. When God moves suddenly, He often creates holy tension first. And Archangel Michael has been guarding you through that tension, ensuring that what tried to overwhelm you did not consume you. Hear this carefully. What God is doing today will change what comes next. Not slightly, not gradually, completely. The next chapter of your life is not being written based on your past mistakes, your delays, or what others assumed about you. It is being written based on obedience you showed when no one applauded, faith you held when answers were silent, and endurance you demonstrated when walking away would have been easier. Archangel Michael says there was a moment you almost gave up on expecting change. You didn't stop believing in God, but you stopped believing that your situation could turn quickly. Heaven noticed that quiet disappointment, not to judge you, but to respond. Because today is proof that God does not require perfect faith. He responds to honest hearts. Right now, in the unseen realm, opposition has been restrained. Confusion has been silenced. Delays that were allowed for growth have reached their expiration. This is why today feels different, even if nothing obvious has changed yet. Spiritual shifts always happen before physical confirmation, and Archangel Michael is declaring protection over this transition so nothing interrupts what God has already approved. You are stepping into a sequence of events that will make sense only in hindsight. Opportunities will appear that connect to things you prayed about months, or even years, ago. People will suddenly remember you. Information will surface at exactly the right time. What looked like lost ground will become strategic positioning. This is not coincidence. This is coordination. Archangel Michael wants you to understand something important. Heaven did not move because you demanded it. Heaven moved because the time was right. God is not late, and He is not early. He is exact. And today, January 2, marks a divine adjustment where what comes next will no longer be blocked by what came before. There is also a release of peace happening for you. Not the kind that ignores reality, but the kind that stabilizes you while reality shifts. Anxiety about the future is being replaced with quiet confidence. You don't need every detail yet. You only need to stay open, attentive, and willing. Archangel Michael is not asking you to strive. He is asking you to receive. Be careful not to dismiss small nudges today. A thought, an idea, an urge to act or reach out. These are not random. When heaven moves, guidance becomes subtle but accurate. This is why the message says, open this immediately. Delay is not your portion in this season. Discernment is. You may notice that what once strained you no longer has the same power. Conversations change in tone. Situations lose their grip. It is because God is removing you from environments that were only meant for a past version of you. What comes next requires clarity, strength, and alignment. Archangel Michael is guarding that process fiercely. Do not rush to explain what is happening to everyone. Some shifts are meant to be protected before they are announced. Let God complete the work quietly before the results speak loudly. Heaven is not trying to impress people. It is trying to position you. This is a threshold moment. Not dramatic on the surface, but decisive in the spirit. You are crossing from waiting into movement, from hoping into seeing, from questioning into knowing. Archangel Michael says, stand steady. Stay receptive. Today matters more than you realize. Take a breath. Let this settle. What God is doing now is already rearranging what comes next, and you are not late for it. Beloved soul, there is a reason you are still here with this message, and it goes deeper than motivation or curiosity. Something is being clarified for you right now, layer by layer. Yesterday closed one chapter, but today is activating understanding. Archangel Michael speaks with precision in this moment, because clarity is the weapon heaven is placing in your hands. Confusion has been one of the main tools used against you, and that tool is being removed. You have sensed that something important is unfolding, yet you couldn't fully explain it. That uncertainty was never meant to weaken you. It was meant to stretch your discernment. Archangel Michael says God is training your spirit to recognize divine timing without needing constant confirmation. That is why some answers are coming as peace instead of details. You are learning to move by alignment, not anxiety. Pay attention to how your perspective is changing. Things that once felt urgent are losing importance, while things you once ignored are suddenly drawing your attention. This is not random. Heaven is rearranging your priorities so you do not miss what truly matters. When God moves on your behalf, He does not just change circumstances, He changes perception. And that inner shift is what protects the outer breakthrough. There is also a quiet restoration happening. You gave more than people realized. You carried responsibility that was never acknowledged. You stayed faithful in spaces where you were overlooked. Archangel Michael says heaven recorded every unseen sacrifice. What is being released now carries compensation, not just relief. This is restoration with wisdom, so you do not repeat cycles that drained you before. You may notice that some people feel distant lately. That is not rejection, that is repositioning. God is creating space for new alignment. Certain connections were only meant to walk with you up to a point. Holding on to them now would sow what comes next. Archangel Michael is guarding you from attachments that no longer match your assignment. Today's message also carries instruction. Do not rush decisions out of fear of missing out. What is meant for you will not require panic. It will come with peace, even if it challenges you. Learn to trust that calm certainty. That is one of the clearest ways heaven communicates with you in this season. As this understanding deepens, I want you to pause for a moment and recognize the value of this space we are in together. If this message is resonating with your spirit, take a second to show your support. Like this video so it can reach others who need this clarity. Share it with someone you know had been waiting for confirmation. Leave a comment letting heaven know you are receiving this word. And if you haven't yet, subscribe to this channel and join the family that gathers here daily for guidance and strength. Your engagement helps keep this message moving where it needs to go. Archangel Michael also emphasizes the importance of agreement. When you speak, even in small ways, you activate what is already moving. A simple declaration of faith carries weight right now, Silence was necessary in your past season. Agreement is necessary now. Do not underestimate the power of aligning your words with what heaven has already decided. You are stepping into a stretch of days where things begin to make sense in reverse. Moments you questioned will reveal their purpose. Delays will show their protection. Losses will expose hidden direction. This is why God waited until now to move publicly on your behalf. You are finally ready to see the full picture without resentment or regret. Be mindful of how you treat yourself during this transition. Archangel Michael says self-condemnation has no place here. You survived what you didn't understand at the time. That alone speaks of grace working through you. Release the pressure to prove anything to anyone. What comes next will speak for itself. There is also a reminder here about patience with the process. Movement does not always feel dramatic. Sometimes it feels quiet, almost ordinary. But do not confuse calm with stagnation. Heaven often works most powerfully when things appear still. Trust the unseen work. Trust the divine sequencing. If at any point doubt tries to creep back in, return to this truth. Heaven has already moved. You are not waiting for permission. You are learning to walk in alignment. Archangel Michael is not asking you to fight harder. He is asking you to stay aware, grounded, and responsive. And before you let this moment pass, stay connected. What unfolds from here builds upon what you are understanding now. Hold on, because what is about to be revealed next will bring even deeper confirmation and direction. Chosen one, there is a deeper layer to what is happening today, and Archangel Michael wants you to hear this with your spirit, not just your mind. The movement of heaven you are sensing is not only about external change, it is about authority being restored to you. For too long, you felt as though life was happening to you instead of through you. That season is ending. God is repositioning you from survival into stewardship, from reaction into command. You were never meant to stay in a place where you constantly question your worth or direction. The reason January 2 carries such weight is because it marks a handover in the spirit. What drained you before will no longer have permission to pull from you. What confused you will no longer dominate your thoughts. Archangel Michael says heaven is drawing clear boundaries around your life, and those boundaries are not limitations, they are protection. You may notice that your tolerance for certain behaviors, environments, or conversations has shifted. Things you once excused now feel heavy. Things you once chased now feel empty. This is not arrogance or coldness. This is discernment maturing. God is refining your appetite so you no longer consume what weakens you. What comes next requires strength, clarity, and focus. There is also a release of courage happening quietly. Not loud confidence, but steady resolve. The kind that allows you to say no without guilt and yes without fear. Archangel Michael says you are being trained to move with heaven's backing, not human approval. That is why some of your choices will no longer make sense to everyone. They are not supposed to. You have prayed for change, but you also feared the cost of the change. Today, heaven is addressing both. God is not only opening doors, He is preparing you to walk through them without losing yourself. That is grace layered with wisdom. What is coming will not overwhelm you. It will expand you. Pay attention to the way truth is surfacing in your life. Hidden motives are becoming visible. Unspoken dynamics are being revealed. This is not to hurt you. It is to free you. Archangel Michael stands as a guardian of truth, and he is ensuring that deception no longer has access to your path. Clarity may feel uncomfortable at first, but it will save you from long-term pain. You are also being reminded of your identity. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are not late. Heaven does not measure progress the way people do. Every delay you endured served a purpose. Every quiet season built a foundation. Now, that foundation is being used. There is something else important you need to know. When heaven moves on your behalf, resistance often makes one last attempt to distract you. Not to stop you, but to delay your focus. Archangel Michael warns you gently. Guard your attention. Not everything deserves your energy. Not every opinion deserves your response. Stay anchored. What God is doing now will echo forward. Decisions you make in this window will shape the next phase of your life. Choose alignment over urgency. Choose peace over pressure. Choose obedience over explanation. Heaven is already backing the right choices. Let this truth settle deep within you. You are stepping into a season where your inner world and outer reality begin to match. No more constant contradiction between what you believe and what you experience. Alignment is being restored. Type "I receive divine alignment" in the comments if this message is speaking to your spirit. Blessing code 909 has just been released over your life. And now, hear this invitation as part of the message, not separate from it. As this word is opening your eyes, it is also opening a door for others who are still in darkness. I feel led to tell you this directly. When you give, you are not supporting a channel. You are sowing light into souls who are waiting for clarity just like you once were. Scripture says God gives seed to the sower, and today He is speaking that promise personally to you. When you release a seed through Super Thanks, membership, or PayPal, the link is in the description. You are partnering with heaven to carry this message where algorithms cannot reach. This is not a donation. It is an act of obedience, a response to what God is doing now. I speak blessing over every giver, that what you release will return as wisdom, protection, and divine acceleration. Do it now, and let heaven mark your obedience. My precious one, now that heaven has drawn clear boundaries and alignment has been restored, a new kind of awareness is awakening within you. This is not something you learn from people, and it cannot be taught through experience alone. Archangel Michael says this awareness is spiritual perception sharpening, the ability to sense what is coming before it arrives and to recognize what is no longer meant to stay. This is a gift God releases only when trust has been proven. You may already feel it. A subtle knowing, a pause before reacting, a calm discernment that rises without effort. Where you once second-guessed yourself, there is now an inner steadiness. That is not confidence built on ego. It is confidence anchored in alignment. Heaven is teaching you to listen inwardly because the noise around you is about to increase. Not all noise is bad, but not all voices are meant to guide you. Archangel Michael reveals that this next stretch of your journey will require spiritual maturity more than emotional reaction. There will be moments when silence is wiser than explanation, when restraint is stronger than confrontation. This does not mean you are shrinking. It means you are growing into authority. Authority does not announce itself. It moves quietly and decisively. Some situations will soon test this growth. Old patterns may try to reappear. Familiar distractions may resurface. Not because you are going backward, but because your elevation has been noticed. The enemy never wastes time on what is not moving forward. Archangel Michael stands watch in these moments, ensuring that what once trapped you can no longer hold you. You are also stepping into a season where your discernment about people becomes clearer. You will sense intentions more accurately. You will feel peace around some and unease around others, even without obvious reasons. And trust that God is not asking you to judge. He is teaching you to steward your access. Not everyone deserves the same level of proximity to your heart or your future. It is healing happening at a deeper layer than before. Not just from recent wounds, but from disappointments you normalized and carried quietly. You learned to function while hurt, to smile while uncertain. Heaven saw that strength, but heaven does not want you to live armored forever. Archangel Michael says God is gently removing emotional defenses that are no longer needed. You are safe now in ways you were not before. As this healing unfolds, you may feel moments of unexpected emotion. Memories may surface. Feelings may release. This is not regression. It is cleansing. What is leaving you cannot follow you into what comes next. Let it go without shame. Let it pass without resistance. You are not losing anything valuable. You are gaining freedom. God is also refining your patience. Not passive waiting, but active trust. You are learning to move when prompted and rest when instructed. This rhythm will protect you from burnout and confusion. Archangel Michael says the pace of heaven is becoming your pace now. You are no longer chasing outcomes. You are responding to guidance. Be mindful of opportunities that come wrapped in urgency but lack peace. Not every open door is a divine door. Alignment always carries clarity, even when the step is bold. You will know what is right because it will resonate deeply, not pressure you loudly. Heaven does not rush what it has already secured. There is also a strengthening of your voice happening, not necessarily louder but truer. When you speak from alignment, your words will carry weight. People will listen differently. Situations will shift faster. This is not manipulation. It is authority rooted in truth. Archangel Michael guards that authority fiercely. You are entering a phase where your obedience becomes more impactful than your effort. Small acts done with alignment will produce greater results than large acts done with anxiety. Trust this new way of moving. It may feel unfamiliar at first, but it will feel right. Let this settle into your spirit. You are not preparing for something far away. You are living inside the transition right now. Every thought you choose, every boundary you honor, every moment you stay aligned is shaping what unfolds next. Heaven is close. Guidance is clear. Protection is active. Remain steady. Remain open. What continues to unfold from here will confirm everything you are beginning to understand. Beloved one, as this transition continues to unfold, Archangel Michael draws your attention to something subtle but powerful. Your sense of identity is being recalibrated. Not rebuilt from scratch, but refined. You are beginning to see yourself through heaven's lens rather than through past experiences or others' expectations. This shift is essential because what God is entrusting to you next requires that you no longer underestimate who you are becoming. There was a time when you defined yourself by what you endured. Your strength came from survival, your wisdom from pain. While those seasons shaped you, they were never meant to define you forever. Archangel Michael says heaven is closing the chapter where hardship was your primary teacher. From here on, guidance will come more through instruction than endurance. You are no longer learning only through loss. You are learning through alignment. You may notice that certain internal struggles are losing intensity. Thoughts that once looped endlessly are quieter. Old insecurity do not grip you the same way. This is not because you forced healing, but because truth has replaced lies. God is anchoring you in what is real, not what was feared. And when truth takes root, fear loses its voice. There is also strengthening of trust taking place. Not blind trust, but discerning trust. You are learning who and what deserves your confidence. Archangel Michael says this is crucial because misplaced trust drained you in the past. Heaven is not teaching you to trust with wisdom, not guilt. You do not owe access to everyone who asks for it. Pay attention to how your energy responds to different environments. Some spaces will feel life-giving. Others will feel heavy, even if they once felt familiar. This is not judgment. It is awareness. God is guiding you away from what no longer aligns, even if it once served a purpose. Leaving does not mean dishonoring the past. It means honoring your future. You are also being invited into a deeper level of responsibility. Not pressure, but stewardship. What you carry now has influence. Your words, your presence, your choices matter more than you realize. Archangel Michael reminds you that authority grows quietly. It is cultivated through consistency, integrity, and obedience in unseen moments. There may be times when you feel alone in this growth. Not isolated, but different. That is because alignment often creates distance before it creates connection. Heaven sometimes separates before it multiplies. Do not interpret this as abandonment. God is making room for relationships that can walk with you where you are going, not where you have been. Another important shift is happening in how you respond to challenges. You are no longer reacting from fear or defensiveness. You are pausing, discerning, and then responding with clarity. This is maturity. Archangel Michael says this change is protecting you from unnecessary battles. Not every conflict requires your involvement. Some things resolve themselves when you refuse to engage. You are also learning to rest without guilt, to pause without feeling unproductive. This is new for you because rest once felt unsafe. But heaven is teaching you that rest is not retreat. It is reinforcement. Strength is restored in stillness. Insight deepens in quiet. Do not resist this rhythm. There will soon be moments when you are asked to step forward in ways that stretch you. Opportunities that require courage. Conversations that require honesty. Decisions that require faith. When those moments come, remember this: you are not stepping alone. Archangel Michael goes before you, clearing resistance, guarding your path, and strengthening your resolve. Let go of the need to have everything figured out. Clarity unfolds as you move, not before. Obedience reveals the next step, not the full map. This is how heaven keeps you dependent on guidance rather than control. And that dependence is not weakness, it is wisdom. You are becoming someone who moves with intention, not impulse. With peace, not pressure. With authority, not apology. This transformation is not loud, but it is lasting. And it is positioning you perfectly for what continues to unfold. Stay attentive. Stay grounded. What is being built within you now will support everything that comes next. My beloved one, as you move deeper into this unfolding season, Archangel Michael brings your attention to the momentum that is quietly building around you. This is not rushed energy, and it is not forced progress. It is divine momentum, the kind that forms when alignment, obedience, and timing come together. You may not feel like you are running, but you are no longer standing still. Heaven has placed you in motion. There is a noticeable shift in how obstacles respond to you now. Things that once resisted you are softening. Situations that felt immovable are beginning to cooperate. This is not because circumstances suddenly became easier, but because you have changed internally. Authority changes the way resistance behaves. Archangel Michael says, when heaven backs a person, opposition loses confidence. You are also learning the power of consistency. Not dramatic faith, but daily alignment. Small decisions made with clarity are stacking up. Quiet obedience is producing visible stability. God is showing you that breakthrough is not always explosive. Sometimes it is cumulative. This is how lasting change is built. Be aware that as momentum increases, distractions may also try to increase. Not obvious ones, but subtle diversions that pull your attention just enough to slow your focus. Overthinking, unnecessary conversations, revisiting old wounds. These are not sins, but they are delays. Archangel Michael urges you to stay present. What God is doing now requires your attention more than your analysis. You may also feel a stronger pull toward purpose. Questions like, why am I here? And what am I meant to do next? May surface more frequently. This is healthy. Purpose awareness is awakening. Heaven does not reveal purpose all at once. It reveals it progressively, as you are able to carry it. Trust the timing of revelation. There is something important about your voice in this season. What you say, even casually, is carrying more weight than before. Words spoken in alignment carry authority. Be mindful not to speak against what you are praying for. Archangel Michael says agreement accelerates, but contradiction delays. Let your words reinforce your direction. At this point, I want to pause and speak to you directly, heart to heart. If this message is strengthening you, grounding you, and helping you understand what is happening in your life, take a moment to engage with it. Like this video so the message can travel further. Share it with someone who may feel confused or stuck right now. Leave a comment declaring that you are aligned with what heaven is doing. And if this space has become a place of clarity for you, subscribe and stay connected. Join the community that gathers here consistently for truth, guidance, and strength. Your support helps keep this flow of messages alive. There is also a gentle reminder here. What you are walking into will require endurance, not intensity. Consistency will take you farther than bursts of effort. God is not asking you to exhaust yourself. He is asking you to remain faithful. Archangel Michael stands as a reminder that strength is sustained, not spent all at once. You may notice that your reactions are slower, but your decisions are firmer. That is wisdom forming. You are no longer swayed by every emotion or opinion. You are learning to weigh, discern, and then move. This steadiness will protect you when pressure comes. Pressure may still appear, but it will not dominate you. You are learning to operate from peace rather than panic. This does not mean challenges disappear. It means they no longer define you. Heaven is teaching you to remain centered regardless of circumstances. There is also an invitation here to trust joy again. Not reckless happiness, but grounded joy. You have been serious for a long time because life demanded it. Now, God is reintroducing lightness into your spirit. Joy strengthens you. Do not resist it. As you continue forward, remember this. Momentum grows when you stay focused on what is in front of you, not what is behind you. Archangel Michael says do not keep checking old doors to see if they are still closed. They are closed because they are no longer needed. Hold on, because what unfolds next will connect everything you have been learning into a clear picture. This is where understanding deepens, and purpose begins to take shape in a way you can recognize. Stay with this. You will be glad you did. Beloved child, as you continue walking forward, Archangel Michael brings your awareness to a sacred unfolding that is now taking place within your inner life. What God is doing is not only visible in changed circumstances or clearer direction. It is shaping how you carry responsibility, how you handle authority, and how you respond when weight is placed upon you. This is a quiet but critical stage, because it determines whether what comes next will be sustained or strained. You are learning how to hold blessing without fear. In the past, increase often came with anxiety. You wondered how long it would last, whether it would be taken away, or if you were truly qualified to keep it. Heaven hath been healing that mindset. Archangel Michael says God is teaching you that what is given by him is not fragile. It does not depend on constant striving or perfection. It is secured by grace and guided by obedience. There is also a refinement happening in your motives. You are beginning to ask deeper questions, not just about outcomes, but about alignment. Why do I want this? What will this produce? Who will this impact? These questions are signs of maturity, not hesitation. Heaven entrusts influence to those who can steward it with humility and awareness. You may notice that you are less reactive to praise and less shaken by criticism. This is important. Emotional extremes once controlled your sense of worth. Now, your value is anchored. Archangel Michael says, when your identity is stable, no external voice can easily distort your direction. This stability is what allows you to walk forward without constantly looking over your shoulder. There is also a strengthening of your spiritual endurance. Not the endurance that comes from forcing yourself to keep going, but the endurance that flows from knowing why you are moving at all. Purpose-fueled perseverance. God is clarifying your why so that when challenges arise, you do not question your calling every time resistance appears. Be aware that growth at this level can feel lonely at times. Not because you are abandoned, but because fewer people can walk with you at this depth. This is not punishment. It is refinement. Archangel Michael reminds you that even angels stand guard quietly. Presence does not always announce itself. Support does not always speak loudly. You are also becoming more comfortable with unanswered questions. Where you once demanded clarity before obedience, you are now willing to move with partial understanding. This is trust in action. Heaven responds quickly to this kind of faith because it shows reliance on God rather than control over outcomes. There is a subtle but powerful release of creativity happening as well. Ideas may come unexpectedly. Solutions may appear where you once saw limitations. This is divine intelligence flowing through alignment. God is expanding your capacity to see possibilities beyond past frameworks. Do not dismiss these impressions. Write them down. Pray over them. They are seeds. Archangel Michael also highlights the importance of guarding your inner peace. Peace is no longer a luxury for you. It is a requirement. Without it, clarity blurs. Without it, discernment weakens. You are learning that peace is not the absence of conflict, but the presence of trust. Protect it intentionally. As this phase continues, you may be called to step into conversations or roles that require wisdom more than emotion. You will be asked to listen deeply, speak carefully, and respond thoughtfully. This is preparation for greater influence. Heaven is training you in restraint, because restraint precedes authority. There is also a reminder here to remain teachable. Growth does not mean you know everything. It means you are willing to keep learning. Archangel Michael says humility will keep doors open that pride would close. Stay curious. Stay open. Stay grounded. You are nearing a point where internal clarity begins to manifest externally in undeniable ways. Alignment produces fruit. Patience will be rewarded. Consistency will be recognized. What hath been forming quietly will soon have visible expression. Do not rush this moment. Do not compare your journey to others. Their timing is not your timing. Their assignment is not your assignment. Heaven is precise, and your path is uniquely calibrated. Remain steady. Remain faithful. What unfolds next will bring confirmation that this season of preparation has not been in vain. Beloved one, there is a holy seriousness to this moment, and Archangel Michael wants you to recognize it without fear. You are standing at a convergence point where preparation meets permission. Everything that has been refined in you up to now is being tested for readiness, not to disqualify you, but to confirm that you can carry what is about to be released. Heaven does not rush this stage because it determines longevity. You may feel a heightened awareness of responsibility. Not pressure, but weight. The kind that makes you pause before acting, speaking, or committing. This is not hesitation. This is discernment maturing. Archangel Michael says God is teaching you how to carry blessing without becoming bound by influence without ego, provision without fear, direction without confusion. There is also a sobering clarity settling in about what truly matters to you. Distractions that once excited you now feel empty. Goals that were driven by comparison are losing their appeal. You are not losing ambition. You are refining intention. Heaven is aligning your desires with your assignment so that what you pursue nourishes your spirit rather than drains it. You may notice that you are becoming more selective with your time. Solitude feels valuable rather than lonely. Stillness feels productive rather than wasteful. This is because God is speaking more clearly in quiet spaces now. Archangel Michael stands guard in these moments, protecting the revelations that come when you are alone with God. There is also an invitation to courage here. Not reckless boldness, but steady obedience. You may soon be asked to take a step that feels slightly uncomfortable, yet deeply right. It may require letting go of certainty to gain alignment. Trust that heaven never asks you to move without providing grace to sustain you. Old fears may try to resurface as you approach this threshold. Not because they have power, but because they sense they are losing influence. Do not wrestle with them. Simply acknowledge that they no longer have authority. Archangel Michael says fear cannot coexist with alignment for long. One always displaces the other. You are also becoming aware of how your presence affects others. People may open up to you unexpectedly. They may seek your perspective or feel calmer around you. This is not coincidence. God is using you as a stabilizing presence. You carry peace because you have learned to protect it. There is a reminder here about humility. Elevation does not remove the need for dependence on God. In fact, it deepens it. Archangel Michael says staying grounded will keep you clear. Staying grateful will keep you protected. Never forget who guided you here. As this message reaches its depth, I want you to mark this moment intentionally. This is not just information. It is activation. Type "I step into divine authority" in the comments if you receive this word. Blessing code 1444 is now released over your life, sealing clarity, protection, and alignment for what comes next. And now, hear this as a continuation of the message, not a pause from it. I am speaking directly to those who feel this word stirring something deep inside. If God is using this message to steady you, to awaken you, to guide you, then understand this. Your support becomes part of how this light reaches others who are still searching. When you sow through Super Thanks, membership, or PayPal, the link is waiting in the description. You are not funding content. You are releasing oil into lamps that are about to go out. The word says that when you sow generously, rivers will not dry up around you, and I declare that promise over every giver right now. This is a prophetic moment to act, not later, not someday, now. I bless every seed sown with multiplied peace, divine protection, and accelerated clarity. Obey the prompting and let heaven respond. Beloved child, as you move beyond this sacred threshold, Archangel Michael brings your attention to a profound internal settling that is now taking place. This is the moment where what you know in your spirit begins to stabilize in your soul. Faith is no longer something you reach for in moments of crisis. It is becoming the ground you stand on. This shift matters, because stability is what allows blessing to remain. You may feel less reactive to uncertainty now. Where unknowns once triggered anxiety, they now invite curiosity. This does not mean you have all the answers. It means you trust the one who does. Archangel Michael says heaven is anchoring you in assurance rather than outcomes. You are learning that peace does not come from control. It comes from alignment. There is also a quiet strengthening of your emotional resilience. You are no longer easily thrown off by unexpected changes or delays. Disappointment may still touch you, but it does not derail you. This resilience is not emotional numbness. It is spiritual grounding. God is teaching you how to feel deeply without being governed by what you feel. Pay attention to how your reactions are changing. You are responding with patience where you once reacted with urgency. You are choosing wisdom where you once chose speed. These shifts may seem small, but they are evidence of growth that cannot be shaken. Archangel Michael says heaven values this maturity because it ensures longevity. There is also an adjustment happening in how you measure success. You are no longer chasing validation or external markers to prove your worth. Fulfillment is becoming more important than recognition. Alignment is becoming more satisfying than applause. This internal recalibration protects you from comparison and burnout. You may notice that some desires are falling away naturally. Things you once prayed intensely for no longer hold the same appeal. This is not loss. It is refinement. God is not removing joy from your life. He is removing distractions from your calling. What remains will feel lighter, clearer, and more purposeful. This season also invites deeper trust in divine timing. You are learning that waiting does not mean wasting time. Preparation often looks like stillness. Growth often happens in quiet spaces. Archangel Michael reminds you that seeds grow underground long before they break the surface. Just because others cannot see what is happening does not mean nothing is happening. There may be moments when you feel tempted to explain yourself or justify your path. Resist that urge. You do not owe clarity to everyone. Heaven is teaching you to let fruit speak. What is real will eventually reveal itself without announcement. Silence in this season is strength. You are also developing a stronger sense of spiritual boundaries. You can sense when something does not belong to you emotionally or spiritually. This awareness protects your peace and preserves your energy. Archangel Michael says boundaries are not walls, they are gates. They allow what is right to enter and keep what is harmful out. There is an invitation here to deepen gratitude. Not forced gratitude, but grounded appreciation. Gratitude anchors you in the present and keeps your heart soft. It reminds you of how far you have come without trapping you in the past. God is pleased with a grateful heart because it remains teachable and humble. As you continue forward, remember that growth is not linear. Some days will feel clearer than others. Some days will feel stronger than others. This does not mean you are regressing. It means you are human while being guided by heaven. Archangel Michael stands with you in both strength and weakness, guarding your progress. You are becoming someone who can hold both hope and realism without conflict. You can acknowledge challenges without surrendering faith. This balance is rare and powerful. It allows you to move forward without denial or despair. Let this truth settle deeply. You are not waiting for your life to begin. It has already begun. What unfolds next will build upon this stability, this clarity, this grounded faith. You are ready for it, not because you are perfect, but because you are aligned. Stay attentive. Stay grounded. What is coming will require this steadiness, and you have been prepared for it. My beloved one, Archangel Michael draws close again in this moment. because what is unfolding now requires your conscious cooperation. You have reached a phase where alignment is no longer fragile, it is becoming habitual. What once required effort now feels natural. You are not forcing faith anymore. You are living from it. This is significant because habits of alignment create pathways of acceleration. You may notice that decisions are coming to you more quickly, yet with less inner conflict. That is because clarity is catching up with calling. God is synchronizing your inner convictions with your outer actions. This harmony reduces friction. When heaven and your will move together, progress becomes smoother, even when the road is unfamiliar. There is also a new level of spiritual confidence emerging. Not arrogance, not self-reliance, but confidence rooted in guidance. You are learning that you do not need to anticipate every obstacle in advance. Grace meets you as you move. Archangel Michael says this is how trust matures, from needing reassurance before every step to recognizing support while stepping. Be aware that with this maturity comes discernment about timing. You are becoming more sensitive to when to act and when to wait. In the past, impatience sometimes led you to move too early, or fear caused you to hesitate too long. Now, you are learning rhythm. Heaven's timing is becoming familiar to you. This rhythm will protect you from unnecessary struggle. There is also a strengthening of resolve happening. You are less likely to abandon what God has placed in your hands simply because it becomes challenging. Commitment is deepening. This does not mean you ignore red flags. It means you no longer confuse discomfort with misalignment. Growth often stretches before it settles. You may feel a renewed sense of responsibility for your spiritual life. Not obligation, but ownership. You are choosing alignment intentionally rather than relying on momentum alone. Archangel Michael says this ownership is key, because what is coming will require consistency, not occasional passion. Pay attention to how you handle moments of silence now. Silence no longer feels empty, it feels instructive. God is teaching you through stillness as much as through action. When answers delay, trust is being exercised. And trust, when exercised, grows stronger. There is also a reminder here about community. While your journey is personal, it is not meant to be isolated. God often confirms direction through shared wisdom, encouragement, and accountability. Stay connected to voices that speak truth and life. Distance yourself gently from voices that breed confusion or fear. At this point, pause with me for a moment. If this message hath been grounding you, guiding you, and helping you make sense of what God is doing in your life, take action in a simple but powerful way. Like this video so the message continues to reach those who need it. Share it with someone who may be standing at a similar crossroads. Comment to declare that you are aligned with heaven's timing. And if you haven't already, subscribe and stay connected here. Join this growing family that gathers for clarity, encouragement, and truth. Your participation matters more than you realize. Archangel Michael also reminds you that gratitude remains a key. Gratitude keeps your heart open and your spirit receptive. It prevents entitlement and preserves humility. As blessings increase, gratitude ensures they remain a source of joy rather than pressure. You are also being trained to release control gracefully. Control once felt like safety to you. Now, surrender feels safer. This is a profound shift. It allows God to move more freely in your life. When you stop gripping outcomes tightly, you make room for better ones. There may be moments ahead when progress feels slower than expected. Do not interpret that as failure. Sometimes heaven slows the pace to deepen the foundation. Speed without stability leads to collapse. Archangel Michael says what is being built now is meant to last. Before you move on from this moment, stay present. What continues from here ties together everything you have been learning. The next revelation will connect the internal transformation with external manifestation in a way that brings clarity and confirmation. Hold on. This is where it truly comes together. Beloved child, as you step further into this unfolding, Archangel Michael invites you to notice how the inner work you have allowed is now beginning to influence the outer structure of your life. This is the stage where alignment stops feeling internal and starts shaping tangible outcomes. Not all at once, not grammatically, but steadily and unmistakably. What once felt abstract is becoming practical. You may begin to recognize patterns forming that were never there before. Opportunities align more smoothly. Timing becomes less stressful. Conversations land differently. This is not luck. This is alignment producing order. Heaven is bringing coherence where there was once fragmentation. Archangel Michael says God is not only blessing you, He is organizing your path. There is also a strengthening of your discernment around choices that carry long-term impact. You are no longer driven by short-term relief or emotional comfort. You are weighing consequences, sustainability, and peace. This wisdom is protecting you from cycles that once repeated because lessons were still being learned. Now, those lessons have taken root. You may notice a new seriousness about how you invest your time and energy. Frivolous distractions no longer satisfy you. You want meaning, depth, and purpose. This does not mean you lose joy. It means joy becomes richer and more grounded. Archangel Michael says the shift marks the transition from consumption to contribution. You are becoming someone who builds, not just benefits. There is also an adjustment in how you view challenges. They no longer feel like signs that something is wrong. Instead, they feel like invitations to apply what you have learned. This confidence does not come from self-reliance, but from repeated evidence that guidance meets you when you respond in faith. Experience has taught you that you are not abandoned in difficulty. Be attentive to moments when intuition speaks quietly. A sense to wait. A nudge to act. A pause before responding. These are not interruptions. They are instructions. God is speaking more through subtlety now because you are able to hear without being shaken. Archangel Michael guards these moments, ensuring clarity is not drowned out by noise. You may also feel a renewed sense of responsibility toward your inner life. What you allow into your thoughts, what you dwell on emotionally, what you rehearse mentally, these things matter more now. Not because you are fragile, but because you are influential. What you carry internally shapes what you release externally. There is an invitation here to deepen integrity. Integrity is alignment lived consistently. It is choosing truth even when no one is watching. It is honoring commitments even when they become inconvenient. Heaven trusts those who walk in integrity because integrity sustains blessing. Archangel Michael says this quality will open doors that talent alone cannot. You are also becoming more comfortable with delayed gratification. You can wait for what is right instead of settling for what is immediate. This patience is not passive, it is purposeful. It allows you to receive fully rather than prematurely. What comes next will require this patience to be fully enjoyed. At times, you may look back and barely recognize the version of yourself who once struggled with doubt, fear, or constant questioning. You're not good to honor it. It carried you here. But do not return to it. Growth means movement, not nostalgia. Heaven does not call you backward to relive lessons that have already been learned. There is also a strengthening of hope happening, not wishful thinking but confident expectation. You are learning to expect good without demanding control. This balance keeps your heart open and your spirit flexible. Archangel Michael says hope anchored in trust is one of the strongest forces you can carry. You may soon experience confirmation through circumstances that echo what has been unfolding internally. Not dramatic signs, but clear alignment. Things falling into place. Resistance lifting. Understanding deepening. These confirmations are not meant to make you dependent on signs, but to reassure you that you are walking correctly. As you continue, remember that growth is ongoing. There will always be more to learn, more to refine, more to align. This is not a burden. It is a gift. It means your journey is alive, dynamic, and guided. Stay present. Stay faithful. The final unfolding is near, and it will bring closure, clarity, and blessing in a way that ties everything together. My beloved child, this is the moment where everything gently comes together. Not with noise, not with chaos, but with clarity that settles deep within you. Archangel Michael stands beside you now, not as a messenger of warning, but as a witness to completion. What began as a stirring has become understanding. What started as alignment has become direction. Heaven has not only moved on your behalf, heaven has walked with you step by step to bring you here. You are no longer standing at the edge wondering what God is doing. You are standing inside the evidence of it. Your faith has matured, your discernment has sharpened, and your spirit has learned how to rest without losing expectancy. This is not the end of the journey, but it is the end of confusion. From here forward, movement will feel clearer, lighter, and more intentional. You may realize now that many of the things you once prayed to escape were actually shaping you for this season. The waiting taught you patience. The silence taught you listening. The delays taught you discernment. Nothing was wasted. Archangel Michael says heaven redeems time in ways the human mind cannot calculate. What looked slow was actually precise. There is also a sense of closure being released. Not everything will receive an explanation, but everything no longer needs one. Peace has taken the place of unanswered questions. Trust has replaced the need to control outcomes. This is a sign of spiritual maturity. You are no longer driven by fear of what might happen, but by confidence in who walks with you. As you step forward, your role becomes clearer. You are not meant to strive endlessly or carry burdens that do not belong to you. You are meant to walk in obedience, clarity, and humility. Archangel Michael reminds you that authority flows best through surrender. When you release the need to manage everything, heaven manages what you cannot. You will also notice that your future no longer feels intimidating. It feels open. Unknown, yes, but not threatening. This is because fear has lost its grip. God has shown you, through experience, that He does not abandon what He begins. Completion is part of His nature. Be mindful going forward to guard what you have gained. Clarity is precious. Peace is valuable. Alignment must be maintained, not through effort, but through awareness. Return often to stillness. Return often to gratitude. These will keep your spirit sensitive and your path clear. Archangel Michael says this season marks a transition from preparation into expression. What has been formed within you will now begin to express itself through your choices, your relationships, your work, and your presence. You will notice that you no longer need to force impact. It will flow naturally. Remember this always. You were never late. You were never forgotten. You were never overlooked. Heaven saw every step, every tear, every quiet act of obedience, and heaven responded in perfect timing. Before this message closes, receive this final activation with intention. Type "I walk in divine completion" in the comments if you receive this word fully. Blessing code 1212 is now activated over your life, sealing peace, clarity, and forward movement. And now, hear this as the final extension of the message itself. I am speaking to those whose hearts have been carried through this entire journey. If this word strengthened you, steadied you, and helped you recognize what God has been doing in your life, then this is your moment to respond. I am telling you plainly, when you give, you are helping God reach someone who is still where you once were. The word declares that those who sow into good ground will reap in due season, and today God is speaking that promise directly to you. When you release your support through Super Thanks, membership, or PayPal, the donation link is waiting in the description. You are placing oil in the hands of messengers who carry light into hidden places. This is not optional obedience. This is a divine instruction for those who feel the pull. I bless every giver now, declaring open doors, divine protection, and multiplied peace over your life. Act now, obey now, and watch heaven respond.